Hey guys, and welcome to the Crash Bandicoot Boss BJ tier list, based on the classic trilogy, and everything else on the PS1. So yeah, we're going to be rating every boss based on how good they can give like a BJ, like a sloppy, like a suck, like sucking the old rod, the old wumpy, like the fellatio. You know how that goes. Look, if you don't know what it is by now, then just fucking whatever, man. Anyways, okay, here are the rules, though. We're only gonna be covering the PS1 games. Nothing after that, because everything after that gets kind of messy, because, Crash kind of weird. And I think these are the only bosses that matter anyways, so, okay, let's get this started. Okay, and we're gonna be covering it in chronological order, right? So, from Crash 1, 2, 3, CTR, and then Bash. Alright, so anyways, first up, we've got Papu Papu, who is the guy you fight first. And I think he goes in average, because he's definitely sucked off his fellow tribesmen before. And you know how that kind of, I think his society has necessitated a little bit of dick sucking to relieve themselves. And I don't think there are very many women in the tribe, because you don't see a lot of women in the tribe, so it's not gonna last very long. But Papu Papu, he's a good tribes leader, He's out there, he's hustling, and he's also providing pleasure for his tribesmen, his fellow tribesmates, so that they don't, go crazy or whatever. But he just does whatever he can to make them, get off. I don't think he does a very good job. It's just average, It's the average suck. Anyways, next up is Ripperoo, and I think Ripperoo would go in Relic Worthy. I used to put him in a lower tier, but because I originally published this on Twitter, right? And I put him on a lower tier, but I think someone said that, oh, he gets smarter in the later games. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Like, I don't have him in a higher tier because, sticking your dick in crazy, it's kind of a risk. And he's got teeth, But he does have a really long tongue, and, that tongue game is pretty fucking important. So, consider that, along with the fact that he gets smarter over the later games. Like, he's got a doctorate in 2, and not to mention It's About Time and all that. He works in a museum and all that. So, I think Ripperoo would give some pretty good head, I'd say. Like, this side of the Wumpa Islands, you can't go wrong with that tongue, right? He'd wrap it all around the shaft even if you're like a fucking 12-incher, dude. It's like easy high tier. Not higher though, because crazy's still a risk. Anyways, up next we have Koala Kong, and I'm gonna put him in bad. I don't think he gives a pretty good head. I think, you look at Koala Kong, and he's like a bodybuilder, right? I think he's more focused around himself than pleasuring your partner, right? I think, he's the kind of person who, copies all of his techniques from existing porn, and he doesn't do it to, as good as the porn, right? He just copies it, and it's not as good. It's like a bad copy, and he'd spend all the time fucking flexing. He's too busy working on his arms to work on you, right? Koala Kong, he just doesn't give good head. Nah. Just keep him in the mines, thanks. Keep him in the mines. Anyways, next up, we have Pinstripe. And Pinstripe is in... Ooh, I think he's going in Relic Worthy, yeah. Because, you know, he's a mobster, right? He'd make you suck his dick before he sucks yours. Like, he'd hold you at gunpoint. He's like, oh yeah, suck my dick, eh? Oh, that's a pretty fucking terrible accent. So sorry. Yeah. Suck my dick, eh? Suck my dick before I suck you. And, you know, look, if I offended anyone with that really terrible impression, then I'm sorry. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, he would get you to suck his dick before he sucks you. But when he does, I think that would make for a pretty good experience. Like, he's a New Yorker, right? He's got that back alley New York experience. He's probably sucked a lot of dicks before. And, like, you know, because he's a mobster, he'd be like given like forceful, like vacuum like sucking, like befitting of a true mob boss, you know. And I think he'd do a pretty serviceable job. So yeah, Pinstripe goes into Relic Worthy. Anyways, next up is Brio, and I think he would go on Relic Worthy as well, but like on the far end, because Brio, he already sucks up to his superior, right? So I think that's a given. I think he gives some good head. I think, and he's a good guy. He's like, you know, his allegiance like varies. Like sometimes he's good, sometimes he's bad. And to vary your allegiance like that, I think you'd need to know how to suck dicks from both sides. You know, like double team. And even aside from that, like he's also got the mutagen potion. So if he drank that, then you could probably get some really good head, like dangerous Hulk head. You know, that's a risk though. So if you're up for it, just get him to down it, and he'll just suck away while he's going. Hopefully he doesn't crush your balls as well. That'd be unfortunate, but yeah, if you're feeling adventurous, do that. Because of that, yeah, Brio is going in Relic Worthy. Anyways, next is Neo Cortex, the villain, the main antagonist of the series, and he is going average. You know, Cortex is he's kind of an egotistical guy, and he's kind of petty too. So like, even though he has the biggest head, I think he'd give the most average head, you know. Because he'd be like sucking you off, and he just complains about the whole ordeal. He's like, oh no! Gosh, I'm sucking dick right now. I could be taking over the world! And then even though he's complaining, he'd take great pride in making you come, because he's the kind of person who gets his ego. He's got a big head, a big ego. And by making you nut, he'd get off on that. He'd probably come to. He would never live it down, even though he spent the entire session fucking complaining about it. Yeah, and his technique probably wouldn't be very good. So, you know, Cortex goes an average. I'd say so. Anyway, next we have the Komodo Brothers. I would put them in Nitro Field, high tier, because, you know, there are those things where like two girls or two guys or two NBs can give you like a double blowjob, right? Imagine that, but with like two long-tongued sword-wielding lizards instead. I think that's like a pretty. I think that would feel pretty good, like. And the Komodo Bros, you can't go wrong with them. They got technique with the swords, they got technique with sucking dick. I think that goes hand in hand, like, for sure. So they get high tier purely because there's two of them, and double the fun, you know. Anyways, Next, we've got Tiny Tiger. And he's going in bad, like low bad. Because, come on, I mean, he's got sharp teeth. I'm pretty sure he's gonna bite your dick off before he sucks it, right? He's a hungry motherfucker. Nah. Tiny's just bad. He if you want to get like castrated or whatever, want to get neutered, then Tiny biting your dick off seems like the best route. No judging, but ugh, I don't think it'd feel very good. Like that would fucking hurt. Yeah, and even if he didn't want to do it, he'd probably send one of his lions to do it, like from Crash 3. And the lions would be more concerned in eating you whole, as opposed to eating just your dick, you know? Anyways. Next up is Engine from Crash 2. That's the last Crash 2 boss, and he is on the bottom. Like, for sure. Like, missing that one crate in the level. Like, I'm pretty sure Engine, with his Peter Lorre type voice, I think, nah, he wouldn't even know what sucking dick even is. And even if he did find out what fellatio is, he'd just get his mech to do it. And you know, said mech would like explode and self-destruct as soon as you shoot your load right into its glowing weak spot, you know? It's not even a hardy mech. It's not even a durable mech. It's just gonna explode immediately after you come in it. It's like no thank you. And don't even give me that shit about the hole like in his head, right? Ain't no way you're gonna fuck that missile. It's gonna explode. Like, Engine is just stay away from him. Alright. Next up, we have the Crash 3 bosses. We're moving up to Dingodile. And Dingodile is nitro fueled, like, yeah, above the Komodo Bros. Because, like, if you can get past the teeth, like, Dingodile is prime himbo material. If any of you have played Crash 4, it's like a huge himbo. And I think because he's a cook and he's seen some shit, I think he would know every pleasure point of like any private, you know, of your private parts, your genitals, right? He'd know exactly how to maximize your pleasures. Because, you know, he's an Australian. No bragging, you know. And you know, if you like that Australian accent and that kind of slang, I think that's a bonus. And because of all that, I think Dingodile deserves to be high tier. That's what I think. And yeah, he'd suck a good dick, I'd say. Alright, next is Tropy. He's my favorite villain out of all Crash. And I think he would go straight into Insane. Like, no contest. Like, dude, he wins by a landslide. And you know why? Because of his time travel. Like, even if he sucked before, he'd be good at sucking now. Because he can just travel back through time. He's been through all of time. He knows all the sloppiest fucking mouth techniques from traveling through time. And even after he sucks your dick, he could just rewind time so he can suck your dick again and make it come again. And he can just do that ad nauseum until forever, basically. Tropy is a fucking certified stud. I love him. I think Tropy would suck the best dick. Like, absolutely. You know, I think the one caveat would be you need the crystals, right? But I mean, you know, Crash games are easy. Just give him the crystals and he'll give you the dick sucking of a lifetime. Easy. Okay, and next we're moving on to the sole new boss of CTR, and that is Oxide. And I think he would go into Nitro Field, like just above Dingodile. No, because he's an alien. And you look at that mouth. Like, Nitrous Oxide's mouth, it's like it's a nozzle. It's an owner hole. He's got an owner hole for a mouth. And, you know, just stick your dick in there. I think he's the fastest racer in the galaxy. I think that also means he sucks the meanest dick. He'll make it come fast. Like, he's the fastest racer in the galaxy. He'll make it come fast too. I mean, come on. He's an alien. I know how many people out there are into aliens, right? Like, I know a bunch of you right now watching. You're into aliens. You can't tell me you wouldn't stick it in Oxide's mouth, right? Easy. Easy fucking nitro fuel. No contest. I think Nitrous Oxide sucks dick really good. You know how it goes. And last but not least, we've got Bearminator from Crash Bash, the sole new boss, and he goes in the bottom tier, like just above Engine, because like, look at those teeth. He will bite your dick off, and he's got robots too, but those robots won't help. Like, they'll just knock you off the bed before they try to suck your dick, because they're just stupid robot polar bears. Like, Bearminator, he just sucks, okay? But not in a good way either. Like, he sucks as much as the game that he came from. Like, there's nothing to say about him. He doesn't suck good dick at all. He just sucks, alright? Anyways, that was my Crash Bandicoot blowjob boss tier list. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and because you don't know, it was kind of inspired by a thread that Demo D guy made about the fucking Guilty Gear characters. That was the inspiration for this. It didn't just come out of nowhere. But yeah, I hope you are having a good April Fool's. Hopefully you'll get your dick or your pussy or your other sucked tonight, today, whatever time it is. Otherwise, yeah, I'll see you guys later. And don't forget to tune into my debut happening eventually. You know, just have an insane day. And oh yeah, and don't forget to debate me in the comments as to whether you think my ranking is good or not. Do you like Tropy? Do you think he sucks a lot of good dick? Do you think Bearminator sucks good dick? Who knows? Just fucking comment or whatever, and subscribe if you're not. Anyways, I'll see you around.